All right, all praises to the Most High. Hope everyone is doing well today. Just needed to get outside to get actually some sun and some fresh air. So it's super nice here today. And you may hear the lawnmower in the background. I think my neighbor's is mowing today, but um, wanted to just talk a little bit about. I'll make sure this thing's recording. Selling your soul. Selling your soul. I used to think erroneously in my thinking. I used to think that the only people that could sell their souls were those who were on the upper echelon of things in the world. So your athletes, your celebrities, your well-paid politicians. I used to think that selling your soul would only resulted in an X amount of dollars. But the older I get, the more I understand that you can actually sell your soul for a job as a cashier at Wendy's or McDonald's. Because essentially anything that is taking your allegiance, anything that the Bible talks about where your treasure is, that's where your heart is. So whatever you are spending your time on, whatever takes precedence in your life, um, that's what you're serving. That's what you're serving. And so um, I've been in corporate America for a long time, and I think over the last 6 months to a year, going through various things and the various positions that I've been in, it has really, really just started to wear me out. And it's really started to make me assess some things as to whether or not some of these positions are even of the Most High. And I know people, oh, if you don't work, you don't eat. I mean, yeah, but I also think in context that could mean, maybe for our ancestors, maybe they were agricultural in nature, so maybe that means working the land. Maybe that actually means people having land and working their land and making sure that they produce their own food, meaning you don't work, you don't eat. You work your land, you toil your land, and that way you eat. But we somehow seems to associate that in the Gregorian calendar year of 2026 to, oh, you must work these jobs. Um, they steal your soul. They take your energy. They take your time. You don't have a lot of time to serve the Most High. You don't have a good balance of spending time with your family. The things that are important, taking care of our elders, those of us who have elderly parents, spending time with them, taking care of them, honoring them, doing things in the right manner. This system, this construct is not set up to encourage that. It's not set up to encourage that. It's actually set up to actually do the reverse, to have you to become really enslaved to things and possessions. And the whole mortgage scam, going out, and I'm not here to condemn anybody. I've probably owned probably anywhere, north of 10 to 15 homes in my life. And most of those were mortgages with the exception of one. The point is that we get caught up in this trap, the trap of what the world makes it seems like it's success. And it really is here to steal your soul. It really is here to steal your soul. I had lunch um, last week with a friend of mine, an old friend that I caught up with. I was in another state and I met up with her um, for lunch. Somebody I used to go to camp with. And, when I saw her, she looked very different. Very attractive lady, but um, she was rocking a really, really short hairstyle. And so as we began to talk, she said, yeah, all of my hair fell out, and I says, oh, wow. I was like, what happened? She was a vice president at a bank, And the stress load on her body literally took out almost every strand of her hair. A lot of us are walking around with medical impairments and issues and challenges, all because of the stress of these positions and jobs that we currently have. So it's sad. It's really sad. I think it's Mark chapter 4, I believe it's Mark 4:19 that talks about um, how that the cares of this world, how some receive the word, they receive the word with gladness, but then the cares of this life, the cares of this world actually sucks and chokes out the word, that began to be planted in you. So I said all that to say this is that we really, really, really need to reassess, you know, just what's important in life. And if you are claiming to be a servant of the Most High, you really have to start to reevaluate your acquaintances and your attachments with this system. And everybody has to answer that on their own in terms of, what it looks like and what it doesn't look like. But your spirit man will begin to tell you what's right and what's wrong if you're praying, if you're listening to it. And I could tell you right now, mostly everything that we're doing down here is a trap. This captivity in this system is a freaking nightmare for us. So just wanted to bring that you don't have to be celebrity status to sell your soul. You can sell it in corporate America. You can sell it on the management team for Costco. It's whatever you're giving your allegiance to. And again, no condemnation for a job per se, but some of us are literally giving ourselves for the sake of a paycheck that, by the way, is not even keeping up with inflation at this time. Every time I go to the grocery store, it's amazing to me how the pricing of these products is just, and I'm not talking about like 10%. I'm talking about 50%, 75%. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So anyways, I said all that to say Elevation Ministries, but reassess what's important to you. And then not only reassess it, but start to make some changes. And the difficult part of making the changes is that we're so engrossed and we're so just enamored in this system. But at some point, to stay true to your God and yourself, you got to make some changes. And they may be drastic, but you got to definitely start to make some changes. So don't sell your soul. Get your soul right. All right, all praises to the Most High. I hope that was a blessing. It was a little bit of a rant, but y'all stay safe out there. Take care.